Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Makobura, habari gani?
Niko mzima, how are you?
Niko mzuri. Siku yako imekuwa aje?
Siku yangu leo imekuwa I had a tiresome day.
Eh,
But I'm finally home.
ehe.
I'm very much now, yeah.
Okay.
Labda ya kwako huko.
Mi niko salama salmini na nashukuru na pia labda tu kama bado tujaanza mazungumzo, unajua ule rafiki yangu alinitafuta tena.
Rafiki mgani huyu?
Ule siku moja, si unakumbuka ile ilikuwa siku gani ambapo nilikuwa nakwambia venye huyo rafiki jirani wa nchi jirani tu alikuwa anaongea kuhusu vijana wa kizazi kipi ambao walikuwa wanaandamana jana pia.
Yes,
tukawa na yeye na mazungumzo
yeah.
Jana pia tukawa na yeye na mazungumzo, akaniambia tena jambo lingine. Ni mtu wa kuongea kwa mafumbo sana. Akanielezea kuwa ati nchi ya Kenya ishavaa marinda, iko karibu kutoka, lakini imebaki lipstick tu. Sasa mimi unajua, mimi najua marinda ni nini alafu nakuja naangalia nchi ya Kenya. Sasa huyu mtu naye, huyu mtu anatuona aje? So akaniambia nitafakari. So nikamwambia hapana, mimi pia kuna rafiki yangu ambao mimi tunafanya naye kipindi. So unajua, ukiniambia hivi mimi pia itabidi mimi pia nimuelezee, hata pia yeye anisaidie kutafakari. Labda Makubura, ukipata fahamu ama ukipata kujua mafumbo ya huyu mtu, utanisaidia kuelewa. Hata wale ambao labda wanatutazama wanaweza kuwa na habari, unajua, kwa mafumbo ambao hao watu wanaongea kwa mafumbo, unajua. So hiyo ndio kitu aliniambia. Sasa wewe sijui utanisaidia vipi ndugu yangu?
Maybe there's one in Luo. I think there's one in Luo that is almost similar to that. They say in Luo in quotes that penya se kaokore. End of quotes.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think they somehow.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Oh, it's the same as that one.
I think so. Unless maybe you give an. I don't know. Can you hear me? Am I clear?
Yeah, you are audible. I can hear you. Or what I can do, I will engage him further. Ndajaribu kuzungumza naye sana nieleweshe. Makubura, kuna jambo ambalo lilitokea especially kutoka kwa Nuru Okanga. Najua wengi wanamfahamu, na kwa muda mrefu Nuru Okanga mtoto wake amekuwa akiugua pale Kenyatta Hospital, na bili ilikuwa imekuwa kubwa sana, na kutokana na mambo ambayo tunaona katika mtandao ya jamii, alikuwa almost 1 hour Makarena kutoka kule Embu, na wanasema kuwa CS Kindiki alitoa takriban karibu milioni 1, around 900,000 to settle the bill for Nuru Okanga. What does it one tell you about CS Kindiki?
I think that is brotherhood. That is, I wish that as a country we'll care and love one another the same way Kindiki Professor showed brotherhood and love to his fellow Kenyan and fellow politician. I think that's a good gesture, and yes, I heard about the story of Nuru's son.
Yeah,
he was actually having a kidney problem.
True.
And that has really costed the family of Nuru. You know, problems related to kidney are always very serious health, need serious health attention. And I think that's the reason why the cost had spiked that high. But the CS coming for his head, I think that was a good thing that as a country. But I think
Yeah.
the people of Kenya are nice people. That's one thing that we have to recognize. We've always seen what
Yeah.
Eric Omondi is doing whenever he meets people
Yeah.
who are suffering in one way or another. If he has help from the people of Kenya, the people of Kenya, as they have been coming to the rescue of fellow Kenyans. So I think that's one thing that we have to congratulate the people of Kenya for, because being brothers keeper or being
Yeah.
sisters keeper, I think in this world, not everyone is perfect, not everyone is successful, not everyone is rich.
Mm-hmm.
But the little that we have, if we combine our hands, if we share whatever little we have, I believe that so many lives would be touched. So, to what Professor did, as a people, we thank him, and we request others who may still have the hearts of helping others, that kindly, if you see someone is suffering in one way or another and you're able to help, it is a
Mm.
good thing to. Yeah, so congratulations to those who have been coming to help others in the in this republic. As a believer or as a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
my Christianity teaches me that if you help someone over here, then you
Yeah.
will receive blessings from God. So it is a good thing that we have to emulate as the people of Kenya. Standing for people around us is one important thing that we have to do. And I wish if we'll all have that kind of heart, I think the
Mm-hmm.
suffering people of Kenya would actually stand by each and everyone. And the kind of suffering that we are seeing, especially in informal sectors, would be a thing of the past.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And also, I want you also to look on the other side, and you know from where Nuro Kanga is coming from, because the Nuro Kanga is somebody who has been very vocal in his political processes. Remember, Nuro Kanga usually stays at Jacaranda, and he never shies away from attacking, politically, and nobody would have thought at some point, like the way Jacaranda is. And I think also somebody who should also be congratulated is almost 1 hour, because he also mentioned something about almost 1 hour, that almost 1 hour was one of those people who would stay in the hospital with the kid when he was attending his cases, or when he was in the cells. So that one also speaks something about Omosh 1 hour, despite the fact that in his political process, he's very, very much comical and comedian in a way when he's articulating his issues. So that is Kenya for you. We have to say so many good things that people do, because Nuro Kanga has always said that he has reached out to so many people, and he's a diehard Azimio guy. So we don't know where was the the Azimio people. Maybe they contributed a lot that we don't know, but for Kindiki now speaks out for itself. Yeah, and we say thank you to CS Kindiki for doing that. That is kind of you. Not only don't do it to Nuru Okanga, and do it for another person. And before we go into our main discussion too, I don't know how was the feeling for you when you saw Faith Kipyegon. She made a mark, and you saw herself taking that Kenyan flag and putting around her. What was the feeling like?
I think before we talk about faith,
Yeah,
I think it's right that we congratulate the Kenyan athlete,
yeah.
because I was looking at the number of athletes who are sent for that Olympic,
Mhm.
and the gold, the silver, and the medal that they came back with. It is
Yeah.
something that we have to laud as a country,
Mhm.
because these Kenyan athletes, they really raised our flag high. It is something that, as a people, we have to welcome them back with whatever we can.
Mm.
And we were number one in the whole of Africa. So that's something that we
Oh,
also have to really thank them for.
yeah.
Because being number one in Africa, Kenya, we are known of so many things. If our athletes would still raise the bar that high, it's something that we as a country, we are very happy for them, and we are very, very happy as a country for them having done that nice, or coming back with very nice gifts. It is a nice thing that we have to congratulate. But then Faith, I think this was her fourth gold, and it's being said that this was the third time in a row that she won this gold for in this race of 1500.
But
Faith, she's a
Makobura,
goat.
Makobura not only winning, but making records.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that this was she made a history by winning three goals in
Yeah.
a row. So that is something that we are very proud of her. She's made proud this country, and as a people, there's nothing much we can give. Is just to pray for her so that she continues with the same spirit of lifting and carrying the flag. That topic, it was nice seeing Eliud Kipchoge as well, and that's in the Olympics. As much as he didn't manage to finish the race, but again, he made the Republic of Kenya known in the whole world, and among he also has left a mark that it would be tough for others to erase and come up with another mark. So as a country, we have the best athletes in the world. We have to
Mhm.
congratulate them, and I still believe that in Kenya we have so many talents. If only the government would tap into these talents, if only the government would ensure that the people of Kenya gets the opportunity to showcase their talents, I
Mhm.
believe we would be number one in the whole world. Yeah,
Thank you so
so
much.
it was nice.
Yes.
We also saw
Thank.
Wanyonyi. Wanyonyi also got some gold. It was
Mhm.
a nice feeling for us. Yeah, thank you.
So, to all our Kenyan athletes, we say thank you and we congratulate you all for making us proud, for making us feel that we are the champions of Africa.
Yeah.
Makobura, thank you so much, and everyone who is watching. Today we want to talk about the experts that were donated by ODM to the government. Some of them are giving stern warning. This one coming from even Mbadi himself was talking about the reforms. Yeah, the CS for Treasury was talking about the reforms, and like he said that for those who have been standing against the reforms, they should give way. And what is your take on that statement?
I think personally, I liked the comments of Mbadi,
Yeah.
uh, because as a leader, sometimes you have to be firm. If you're not firm, people might take advantage over your softness.
Yes.
So Mbadi coming out to boldly tell those people who might be standing on the way that they should exit, or they should pave the way, or they should get out of the way. It's a nice thing. Ours as a people is to just wait and see if truly he's going to ensure that those people who are standing on the way are not going to be on the way. So as a country, we have so much expectation from him, especially being the CS of Treasury, because that is where like almost everything is coming from. So if he continues being bold,
Yeah.
he will manage. But if he softens up, maybe he'll have challenges. So from where I see it, him coming out to speak very bold, that's a good step, and we want to see him ensuring that the boldness that he speaks with, he puts it in action as well. when it comes to dealing with those people who are going to block us from achieving the desires, the economical desires of this country.
Okay, thank you so much. And what does Donan tells you? Because even when you listen to Professor Ndungu Njuguna while he was handing over the office to Mbadi, he spoke of so many obstacles that are there, and he talks of so many reforms that he has done in the period of 2 years, which some of them have not actualized, and was just even wishing. The immediate CS who is taking over the office well. And in the interaction, Mbadi also promised that he's going to do that. But one question remains, and is are they willing? They're willing to give this and giving this surety that okay, those who are standing against reforms, but will they manage to uproot these people who are standing against the reforms, who are standing against tax evasion? Because, like, one of the things that usually happens is evading tax. Like the big man syndrome that we have in Kenya, whereby the people who have power, they have business that they're doing, but when it comes to remittance of tax, they don't do so. Remember what happened with the Keroche breweries. Not only that, but so many of them did not want to remit tax, or they were just evading or paying, not paying. How will this one work with Mbadi coming into this treasury, knowing very well that this challenge has been there? And remember, this challenge is not only here with Mbadi, but it has always been in the successive government ever since Moi era to where we are today.
Maybe my take on that is Mbadi is now the cabinet secretary. As a cabinet secretary, you have a responsibility to perform your works. Your work as per the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, with adherence with the wishes of the people of Kenya.
Yeah.
He's the leader in that docket, so he has the power. The Constitution also gives him the power. So maybe my point on that is he has to follow to ensure that people to pay tax. He has to follow to ensure that the cartels within who are blocking the people of Kenya from getting the right tax from different companies or individual. We've given him the sword. It's just the same way. He has the sword, so it's upon him to use the sword wisely to ensure that he performs. Because if he fails to perform, first he'll have problems with the president, with the people of Kenya, before even having the problems with the president. And maybe one thing that I would like to say is, especially these cabinet secretaries who are nominated by from ODM,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they are keenly being watched. They are being watched very keenly. Should they mess? Should they get into corruption? Should they show
Mm-hmm.
any kind of inability to perform their works?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they'll be shown the door. So they have a tough role to play. If any one of them doesn't really do what is right as per the expectation of the people and as per the expectation of Kenya Kwanza,
Yeah.
it is going to be tough for them. So they've been given the power. Let them use the power that they've been given. Follow the procedures that are laid within the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya to ensure that every company or people or individual cartels who are trying to block the people, who are trying to block the collection of revenue, which translates to what the country uses in its development, those people should be stopped.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm saying that I liked his comments coming out
Mm-hmm.
boldly to say that those people who are standing on the way, they should leave. So I think that's a first step that is taken. And I would like to urge him to proceed with that character, because if he soften up, he's going to find it tough. People will not pay tax. There will be tax evasion here and there. close people to the to people in power will not pay tax. So it's upon him to ensure that the right thing is done, so that it doesn't fall into problems with the people of Kenya. The Gen Zs are watching. The Gen Zs knows what is happening, and any little problem that we'll see in them, we shall
Mhm.
really remind them and actually recall them back. Yeah,
So
so they have a tough role to play.
yeah, let me just ask you, if you look at Professor Njuguna, this is a professor who he was also the governor for central bank um, for a number of years. You know that, and rumorsly before even the Gen Z came, it was rumored, even grapevine in the media. You know, when people say that he had tendered his resignation at least twice. And one of the things that was making him to do that, and like they would talk to him, was about the the obstacle that he was meeting from um, some forces that um, were not thin, and was making him not to implement some of the reforms that he had to in the treasury, especially like how can we pay the debt, you know. And another thing also that was also a big problem was about when it comes to the treasury. You saw what happened, what the two finances bill that we've had that today are not in place. You know, they were tend to be having some uh, powers or some extension from the foreigners. You know, so these are some of the things that were kind of like making him not to stay, because like he feel like he was not given that freedom or greater will to implement his policies, that he had to implement some of the policies that are not.
Yeah, so
How will Mbadi be the way he's saying that these people should come out of the way? How will it juggle those challenges, because they might be still be there?
I think sometimes even appointing politicians to these positions,
Yeah.
sometimes it is okay or good because remember, Professor had never been into politics. He had never, like most of time, had a consistent interaction with politicians. Politicians are people who they feel like whenever they're close to people in presidency or people in higher leadership like the speakers or those people who can influence development in the country, they always tend to give directions, and that is what actually even the DP is having a problem with, because he's saying that he's getting instructions even from his juniors.
Mhm.
Anyone who is close to the president wants to give him directions. So Professor was facing this problem too.
Yeah.
uh, Top business people who are close to the president or to the DP or to these senior people, even
Mhm.
members of parliament, they were in one or another not doing what was right as per the constitution. And
Yes.
if maybe they were followed, Kenya people have this mentality that, I know the speaker, I know the
Yes.
majority. Even start, we can even bring we can even sponsor an impeachment of you if you don't listen. So such kind of things. And again, remember the people of Kenya has been having problems with close advisors of president, especially those ones in the likes of D,
Yeah.
because these are people who give the president an advice, but then the president sometimes fails to listen to people who are in cabinet, the people that he's given a chance to lead in the cabinet. And this is
Mhm.
why there has been this analysis that the president, as much as he elects or gives chance to cabinet secretaries, he does
Mhm.
not give them the leeway to expose or to bring or to showcase their expertise in these
Mhm.
sectors. So it is being said that the president does like everything. He commands everything in all the ministries, to an extent that he doesn't really listen to the people that he has given the mandate to take care of this docket. So that was a challenge in the government of Kenya Kwanza, and that was confirmed by so many cabinet secretaries. The president himself said the same, that even some cabinets did not even know their role, that he knew so many things in their department than they knew. And again, maybe to also confirm to you that even the AG by then said that he's been doing his role, giving legal advice to the president,
Yes.
but it is up for the president to make the right decision. So what I'm trying to say or to mean here is the president was not actually listening to his cabinet secretaries. He was listening to his close allies, and from what he was advised by his close allies, whether right or not, he would implement. And that is why we've had issues in the running of governments, and the government has actually failed. So to connect it with what you asked about Mbadi,
Yeah.
about Professor.
Mm-hmm.
Professor was finding it tough, especially when you're not a politician, for you to maneuver in these cabinet secretaries and an influential one like Treasury. It is not easy. So it is true that he came up with very good proposals, but remember he had to incorporate them or to include even those bad ones which were proposed by people who I don't know who are coming from Mars. So the
Okay.
whole thing was seen as a wrong, as much as part of it was okay.
Okay, let's wait and see. But like, if you listen to because if in a nutshell, when you do and combine and summarize what Mbadi was saying, he was just saying of those who are not listening to the policies that are there. So which means, what if people they're not listening to those policies? What will happen? Will they resign? And let me play for you. Sorry, let me also play for you as the same video that the CS for Cooperative, Honorable Oparanya, is also speaking of the same thing. Let me just play for you.
Add it to the screen.
Ya hii ni
Oh, it's
wanakataa,
not.
mimi nitajiondoa na nirudi kwangu.
Oh, okay. Let me add it to the screen.
Ziwe kazi mpaka ukubali, ndio ukubali kusaidiwa, lakini ukiwa hapo,
It's there now.
tukiwa hapo na wewe sasa
Yeah,
unajifanya
it is. It's
mjuaji,
okay.
utakuwa na shida.
Oparanya assured Kenyans that he was ready to collaborate with them to address the grievances that triggered the recent protests.
Naona vijana Gen Z wanaongea mambo yao, hawana biashara, hawana kazi, hakuna ajira. Sasa mimi niko hapo kupambana nao, kuongelesha hao, tuona kwamba hao vijana wana kitu ya kufanya.
The CS, who until his appointment held the position of deputy party leader of ODM, dismissed claims that the position should have been inherited by a native of Kakamega, saying Osotsi, who is the senator for Vihiga, is up to the...
Okay, Makubura, that is now politics. And there are things that Oparanya said there that I've picked. One of the things is that I've really picked is about they came and asked for their assistance, you know. And I don't know how true that is, because that is now confirming, is now the second person that is saying that after Baba said about the government, President Ruto asking them to assist, you know. So na amesema kama wamekuja tuwasaidie kazi and they cannot go with my policies, then I will resign, you know. And the same thing that Mbadi was saying, but now Mbadi was speaking it in a very different way. Mbadi was talking about the reforms, those who are standing against the reforms. So, and here, Oparanya is talking about if they cannot go by my policies, then I will resign. So from those two, you can conclude one thing: there's a problem. Within the few days they've been in government, there's a problem. What do you think?
Uh, as much as the president accepted to invite the members of ODM into his government, it
Yeah.
wasn't easy for him. From the look of things, on how he reacts and how he translates or explains issues or things, we can simply say that he was forced. He did this out of some pressure. It could be the pressure of the Gen Zs, just because he wanted to ensure that he somehow escapes the rage of the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
So, from how the president speaks, he didn't did whatever the appointment was not really truly from his heart. He was forced. He had some pressure, and these cabinet secretaries who were appointed from ODM, they still have, maybe they can see. Politicians, they know, they understand. Uh, they have some they have some access to some information, especially close allies to their close allies, either are the MPs. They can hear how close MPs who are closer to the president speaks. So it could be that they know that as much as they've been given this, it could be a trap to them, but they are also giving a warning to the president that if they're not supported,
Yeah.
maybe they will get out of it and they leave them to carry their own cross. And that is what Oparanya is saying here.
But
Because in
mhm.
his statement, yes, he has clearly accepted the fact that there is a possibility of them not being helped. And
Yeah.
he is also confirmed to us that they were requested. So upon the request, they gave in, and maybe they expect that they would be given the support so that they bring or they do what is needed in their dockets that they have been given to run.
So my question to you, and this is to you, despite the fact that now Oparanya said it, being a deputy, being a former deputy party leader of the Right Honorable Prime Minister to the ODM party, and they were requested, and they came. When you look at this request, was it at the interest of the country, or it was a way of which um, to keep off or to bring with him the street power of Raila Odinga to them, not to combine with the Gen Z?
Maybe to remind the people of Kenya, I want to remind them that if the Gen Zs would not have come out to demonstrate uh, against the government of the Republic of Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
the cabinet secretary, the cabinet would not have been dissolved. That's a fact. It is because of the pressure that was amounted by the young people of the Republic of Kenya. And where all these demonstrations were ended, the president was fearful of what was going to happen in the near future, and he was also fearful of the bad image that was going around, especially in the global.
Yeah.
Remember, uh, he had tried getting out of the world, and is a non-president, and is seen as a very powerful president in Africa. So the people of Kenya coming out to demonstrate against his government in one way or another was not good
Yeah.
for him and even the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what he was trying to avoid, and he was also trying to avoid either the impeachment by the people or being thrown out of his office by the young people. So him inviting ODM, it was just because he wanted them to save him from the fire that was coming from the Gen Zs. But it
Okay.
wasn't really uh, his heart. It wasn't really a decision that they made with these close allies willingly.
Oh, okay. Opara, the CS for cooperative has talked about helping the Gen Zs, by employment. And my question or my school of thought is, in most of advanced countries, we would know the number of people that are graduating in a year, the kind of jobs that the government has created, or both the government and the private sector, and those who have not gotten the job. But in Kenya, we are just being told like we are going to provide employment for you, yet even creating those jobs, industries, and what the government is not so well in them. So, and we don't know like who are not yet employed. Yeah. So we don't have those figures. So how is it going to create that employment? Remember, he's in cooperative.
The reason they used to have some data, I think there exists some data but it is just an approximated number. It is not as exact as in some countries. So
Yeah.
the approximated number, of course, is there, but the government has not been very proactive in helping the young people. So just because they've not really cared, they've never, in their minds, they've not seen the need of even getting the data so that they know that this is the number of people who are coming, who are graduating, and this is the number of jobs that we need to create for them so that they don't fail, they don't come out of campus or colleges and then they get idle. So the country where we are now, Kenya, there is no any elaborate measures put in place to ensure that uh, young people are coming from colleges, who are coming
Yeah.
from campus, uh, get something that would keep them busy, and maybe to also tell you what the youths are going through in the Republic of Kenya. I remember when I finished my course, looking for an attachment, it wasn't easy. In this Republic of Kenya, an attachment is a requirement. It's like a semester on itself or a unit
Yeah.
that you have to complete. So
Yeah.
I really pity the people of Kenya, and this is I really feel so bad for people who are going to school because
Why are you saying, Marco Bora?
imagine
Why do you say you pity people? Are you not a Kenyan?
because I am. It is so
So
painful because if I can just remember my case, getting out
mm,
to find an attachment, which is a requirement for you, it's
yeah,
like a unit that you have to complete.
yeah,
You go to someone's company, you tell them that I'm here, I just want to offer my services for free. And some of them
yeah,
wants you to pay them. And you'll be using your own transport money for almost not less than 3 months, you'll be going to work for them, and they still want you to pay. Where are we as a country? It is so painful that you are going to offer your free services to them.
mhm,
You'll be paying your rent, you'll be paying for your transport, and then someone still asks you for money. And it is so unfortunate that you can't even find attachment in this, I mean, private, I mean, public institutions.
mhm,
Because if you're going there, you'll actually be denied chance. And then if you see, or you maybe you have people who are close to politicians, I don't know how they get those links. Them they get an access to those places, and then you ask yourself, are we not children of the same country, Kenya? I think this issue of treating people um, differently, it isn't a good thing, and the government of Kenya should put some measures in place to ensure that young people who are going for attachments, which is a requirement for them to graduate, they should not even be denied chances, because these are people who are giving their free service. It's like I wouldn't really compare them with the National Youth Service people, because them they work and maybe they are given something, but this one, someone who is going for attachment is simply going to give their service for free, and you don't even recognize them. It's so painful. it really frustrates, and this is leading so many young people into frustration, and they even asking themselves why they spend a lot of money going to school. Some of them are not actually able to graduate because they have not managed to find a place for an attachment. So it is so painful. So that tells you, what about the internship?
Yeah.
Internship now, getting internship in the Republic of Kenya is like, I think the members of parliament should do something about it, or else the young people would still come back, they'll gang up and remind them that the sufferings that they are going on the ground is not easy for them to handle.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So we still do not know how the the CS Honorable Oparanya is going to create those jobs, as I said. But based on his working records, we can have hope that things are going to be okay. My only worry is will the appointing authorities agree to the policies that are might have been, or the Paranya will be bringing forward. That is one. My 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 my, my I would say that also my question to even the CS for energy, I mean the experts that were donated to the government, when they come up with these policies that they're talking about, how will the appointing authority, will they be ready to, because when you look at all these ministries, where the problem is one, especially is about who do you know, like when it comes to Treasury, it's connected with the KRA, and the role of the KRA is to collect tax. And if somebody has a very big business that is doing business and is operating, and they don't want to pay tax, that's tax evasion. If you try to touch them, or the KRA officials try to punish them, they say, "Do you know me? Do you know who I'm coming from?" So that's like what has been there, whereby people, even the KRA officials, feel intimidated. So it is ludicrous. How can you pay for attachment, work replacement, just as only in Kenya? I thought education was valued in Kenya. It is happening, especially my brother, because whoever wants to give you that opportunity, even to sign that your paper, Bucheri bwana, mimi lazima unipatie chai. Unajua, unakumbuka kuna wimbo nani aliimba?
It is true. It is true. I personally went through the same.
Yeah.
I remember when I was almost completing my course, I had
Yeah.
like almost 7 months, and I was supposed to go for an attachment for only 3 months. I spent almost 3 months, the first 3 months, looking for an attachment. I went to all these public institutions, private institutions. I worked to several companies, and the truth of the matter is, I was not given an opportunity. And what really worried me was, I was going to offer my services to them for free. I was going to pay for my transport. I would pay for my food. Some of them asked me for money. It's the truth of the matter. I went through the same thing. When I was only remaining with 3 months, I got a chance to do an attachment. I had friends who didn't get an opportunity for all those five months. They looked for an attachment and they were never given a chance. So some of them did not graduate with us. They had to postpone their graduation just because most of them were being asked for money. So it is a true thing. It is a true story, Mr. Gypsy Corner. It is what the people of Kenya,
Yeah.
especially the young people who are just out of, who are in colleges and campus, go through.
Yeah. Na maybe labda tu kidogo tu ukikumbuka, sijui kama unajua wimbo ya Eric Wainaina, nchi ya kitu kidogo, ukitaka chai, ukitaka kitu nunua ketepa. Na ni ya ukweli, kwa sababu hata wale ambao wanataka kufanya biashara na serikali, lazima watoe kitu kidogo ili ndio upatiwe tenda. Na wote tu, hakuna mtu katika nchi yetu naweza sema wale wanafanya biashara halisi, ambao wanafanya biashara ambao wanasema kimoyo, wanasema mimi nataka kutumikia nchi yangu, nifanye biashara mzuri, ni nadra sana. Wengi wao unapata kwamba biashara zao haziendelei kwa sababu wataki kutoa kitu kidogo, na wale ambao wanatoa rushwa ama wanatoa ongo, unapata kama wananawiri sana katika biashara zao, kwa sababu unapata viongozi wanajua. Yeah, so ni jambo
like a lifestyle. Yeah, it is like a lifestyle in the Republic of Kenya. And these are injustices to the people of Kenya. That is why I still insist that if I was the leader of Gen Zs, you would have continued with this demonstration until the people in power, the leadership of the Republic of Kenya, have gotten out of those places, because they have not done justice to the young people of Kenya.
Marco Bura, you just mentioned something that if you are a leader of Gen Z, and hopefully tomorrow we are trying to find a way to bring on board to have a podcast with him, Joshua Okach. We are still working on it, and we will bring him here so we can also have to get from his side. There's something that you've talked about if you're leader of Gen Z. The problem we have in this country is that every time we want to get something good out of revolution or out of protest, it is being hijacked by the politicians, and they make it their own, and that's how we lose it. If they don't make it their own, they find a way to diffuse it such that it doesn't go. Remember there was a time the women of the country had a femicide when the femicide was very high. You remember those days? Makobura, unakumbuka hizo enzi? Ni juzi
Yes, I can hear you.
Wakati
yes, I can.
Wakati wanawake walikuja pamoja, wakaenda maandamano kuguzia sana, kusema hiyo mambo ni kubaya, lazima sasa wanawake wapatiwe heshima na pia walindwe. Do you know what happened? Did you see the Nairobi women rep Esther Pasari coming on board immediately after these people organizing for that protest, and she came on that day? Yeah. So in that, because like during the organization of the protest, she was not there, but immediately these people go on the street, she was there. So you find that that's how it works. They take advantage of the situation. And now if you look at what happened with that movement, we don't hear it no more. What happened? Did we really achieve something with femicide in Kenya? Where did it end? Actually, we need to bring Faith Ken to come and talk about it, because nobody now talks about it, Yeah, and that is not the only way. I can give you in so many incidences. Take for example the last maandamano of cost of living. If you're very keen, if you're very, very, very much keen, the cost of living maandamano was started at Jacaranda before the leaders. But immediately it was getting momentum. What happened? The politicians
took over, and then everything disappeared.
And that's how cost of living was not. I can give you another example. Another example was in 1992. In 1992, when the multi-party democracy came, when multi-party democracy came, what happened? Have we actualized it? The politician has taken it, and after that, getting that multi-party, because one of the things that multi-party was bringing whereby people can have good condition, giving people options to choose from. you know. But you see what has happened. The politician have hijacked that, and every time it's something called government coalition. Now we have broad-based government. What will you do? So until that time, that we tend to take away politicians. And if you look at the one for Gen Z, before I give you the chance, the Gen Zs went well, but when they realized that these people were fighting for the things that people have been fighting for the longest time, because all these things that the Gen Z were fighting for, they're not new. People have been fighting for good leadership. People have been fighting for accountability. People have been fighting for less corruption. We don't want corruption. Look at people like Gidongo. But when they realize that, oh, this thing is it's kind of like coming, and like they're not, we are not going to have a say. And that's why you say the broad-based government came in. And what happened? It was kind of like neutralized, you know. So the politician, as always. So that's what I wanted to comment.
Yeah, it is true that whenever the people of Kenya, of course, we know what the problems we are facing as a country. The politicians also know the problems you're facing as a country. And the truth is, the politicians, they're the people who has made us have these problems because of their inability
Mm,
to lead, because of their inability to show good ways to the people of Kenya, uh, because they are not able to do what is right. They're not able to make right decisions. They're not able to make right laws. We are having these problems because of that. And they know that they are part of the problem that we have as a country. So whenever they see the people of Kenya starting to single them out, starting to single the problems out, and then trying to look at the root cause,
mhm.
uh, if they see the momentum is building up,
Yeah.
there's a way they talk, and then they come, they block the whole thing. They've managed. They have managed since 2018 when Anshek was there, 2022. The other day, this time around, it was started by Gen Zs, and this was a threat to the political class. And that is why, even as much as the former premier has been advocating and fighting for the people of Kenya, he saw that this time round, if he doesn't find a way to stop this with them uniting as the political class to stop whatever was happening,
Hmm.
they were going to be casualties. They were afraid of getting out of the political space. They knew that the force that was coming was going to sweep all the political class, and that is why they ganged up at the political class. As much as they had different opinions in terms of leadership and everything, in terms of even their political party, them coming with different political parties, they came together just to
Yeah.
try neutralize the force that was coming. So that really tells you that the political space or the politicians in this republic, they are true
Yeah.
friends. They make deals. They do deals on behalf of the people of Kenya. They are the biggest cartels that are making the people of Kenya to suffer. If I give you an example, if you saw, for
Hmm.
example, the appointment of uh, members of parliament to the East African what parliament, you saw
Yes.
the Raila nominated a daughter. Raila
Yes.
nominated a daughter. The Kalonzo nominated his son. What does that tell you? They want this situation where their family continues to be in the political space, so that whoever continues in that political space protects them from infiltration of those new people who are going to get into government, because they know very well that some of them have acquired wealth in a way that is not okay. So they're afraid. That is why they're trying to ensure that their political lineage is not done away with.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you see, Ruto is also trying to recruit her daughter. So that tells you that even when it comes to the appointment, you will see them just nominating old politicians, people who have been in politics. You would see them nominating the sons of senior, their political friends. That is the circle. They want to maintain that circle.
Makoburu, unajua hiyo ni kweli
And
sana. Hiyo ni kweli sana. Inamaanisha bado ukoloni mamboleo ipo, bado tunatawaliwa na bado tunatawaliwa, hatujapata ile uhuru kabisa, like tuseme kwamba sisi kama Wakenya tuko na uhuru wetu, because what we talked about, because like so many people question about it, and it you know, and something that also worries you, like the Kenyan citizen who will not question those, because remember, especially for Honorable Kalonzo, his son has been there for the longest time. Does it mean that there are no...
Maybe another example, what about the Odinga family? The former, I mean, the current senator of Siaya was also there. Does it mean that the Odinga family have to maintain having someone in that place? If truly they were genuine to the people of Kenya, after Oburu, what was the need of nominating Oburu to the East African Parliament? Him being a senior politician. These are, if a young person, or maybe if maybe I was nominated to go and take that position, the people around me, maybe they would have benefited. The people around me, maybe we would have created new jobs to people. So why is it that billionaires and the people who are still being nominated, as much as they are old, just because they've been their political lineage should not stop. If someone fails, to become the senator, what was wrong of those people? He's a member of ODM. They would have given him maybe some position in ODM. Of course, still he would still be earning money. Does it? So another good example, the sister to Raila, who is the women rep of Kisumu. She's been given a very top leadership position in ODM. What does that tell you? They don't want ODM to get out of the Dinka family. So as a people, we have to be very vigilant, and that is why they're fighting even the people, the likes of Babu Win. What was you see Babu has, if truly they wanted and they were truthful to other political people, maybe Babu would have been given that position of this the of Raila, because the fact is Babu has like a national like Babu has this power to bring people in from other regions. Him being given maybe a position in ODM would have attracted others to come to ODM. What does that tell you? That the political space we have, it is being managed by political class, political lineage, and it's like, how do we call it? There's a right term I should use. Maybe if I get the right term, I'll let you know.
Okay. Makobura, unajua sasa wewe pia sasa unaleta
the hereditary system.
Mambo
the hereditary system that we are having in the Republic to his brother, gets out of Raila's brother, goes to the sister of Raila, gets out of Raila's sister, goes to Raila's daughter. Where are we heading as a country? That you saw the president is her daughters are being appointed on very serious dockets. What does that tell you? He's a billionaire, he has businesses. Their daughter, their son should be, if maybe they don't have a job, they can be made the CEO of that hotel which was built on the Republic land. Maybe he should be made the CEO of Amaco, that insurance that is working with the government. Why is it that they have all those and still they are appointing their daughters and sons in public positions? We have questioned that as a people. It is not right. They can't be appointing their daughters and sons in public positions, but they have looted people's money. They have started business with the money looted from the people. Let them employ their daughters and sons in those looted properties.
You know, Makobura, there's bigger thing that I don't know whether even people will win even through because we've spoke of many things. Well, maybe just to follow up, and you spoke about immediately after Oburu Winnie was nominated to the Arusha, East Africa, Parliament. And you ask yourself, like, are there some other Kenyans who should get that, or we lack we lack so many leaders who can perform that? Come to the Kalonzo Musyoka too. The son has been there for so long, and this is the sometimes that how I tell you, the biggest problem that we have in Kenya is not even corruption, because the biggest problem that we have is not corruption. The biggest problem that we have is the politicians. That is the biggest corruption that we have. And the politicians, they're not even leaders. We shouldn't even call them leaders, because if you find somebody who is in leadership, the leadership, somebody who knows about the leadership will take care of his people and will listen to the people that he leads. That's how, and give solutions. And the leader will always what do I say? A leader will always decentralize or give assignment to several people, and people would advise him. Majority of time, majority of our politicians, they think about, it's all about election. And it's all about election and coming next to power. Yeah. Remember when President Ruto was declared the president? How many of those politicians who during the campaign were insulting him, but later they ran after him and say, oh, now tunataka kufanya kazi na wewe. Tunataka kufanya kazi na wewe imanishi wanataka kufanya kazi na wewe, but they're looking at their interest. There's something that they're doing that is not right, or there's a business they're doing that is not right. So they feel if you are next to the power,
maybe
yeah.
If I remind you of one politician, the former governor of Machakos.
Yeah.
If you remember what the former governor of Machakos said about Ruto,
yeah,
when they were in Azimio, when he was close to Raila,
yeah.
that it really trended. That Ruto really didn't have good intention. That Ruto didn't want him to. That Ruto wanted to make him suffer in one way or another.
Alimpinya mkono.
There are some serious. Yeah, apart from that, immediately Ruto was announced as the president. What did he do? He simply switched immediately. And that is how he was appointed as the cabinet secretary. That tells you that these people really cares about themselves.
But if you look at the reason why he switched, that is because in Azimio, they did not want to recognize him, as a partner, maybe, because remember what Azimio even used to on how their candidates were given slots, especially Nairobi. They say because we know we are going to get the presidency, so the Jubilee has to get the governor, and that's why people like the MP Honorable Tim Wanyonyi ended up not becoming a governor, but he was a very potential candidate who was going to win for the governorship of Nairobi, So it was a divide and rule method, and that is what is still taking place, whereby we are divided as Kenyans, on tribal lines. We are divided on party lines. We are divided on economic power, where you do belong. That's why you find we have hustler, we have mama mboga, and you find even the politicians acknowledges that they have hustlers and mama mboga, watu wa chini. Now there was this word walikuwa natumia, Kenya kuna jamii mbili, maskini na tajiri. Kuna hii jambo ambayo kuna lugha ambayo ilikuwa inatumika sana sana kwa wale ambao wajakuwa vizuri kifedha. Nimesahau tu, itakuja.
Dynasties.
No, tunatumia dynasties.
The dynasties and
no. Nimesahau. Na itakuja tu. Kuna jambo labda, if somebody is in the comment section, please remind us of this word that they used to classify people. Maisha ya chini ama what? Forget about walala hoi, walala hai, walala nini. There's a word.
Maybe
hey, if somebody in the comment section
remember
knows,
it, and then
somebody in the comment section,
he went.
Even in the media, the media also uses it a lot when classifying people, those who are not financially stable and those who are financially stable. I just forgot the word, and that's how the politicians as really classifiers, and we call it. To me, I usually call it in English the stratification. Stratification, how you've been. Like we have this structure, you know,
The bottom-up approach.
The bottom-up approach, which the president used, and you know, it was Makobura. You spoke something about Babu Owino, and I know yesterday you talked about it, and you know, I want to take a different perspective, you know. And the reason why I want to take a different perspective is I think Babu Owino is okay the way he is. You know, do you know why? The reason why I feel Babu Owino is okay the way, because one, if Babu Owino is given the position, so which means if you've been given the position in ODM, you have to go with what the position says, the position the party is taking. You know. But with Babu Owino, because sometimes they usually have his own opinion, you know. So, which means that was going to contradict him with the party loyalist, yeah, and the party fan base, and that one could kind
Position.
of like, yeah, and that one would bring him a problem. So I think by him staying outside, one, it's giving him an opportunity to even brand himself, create a niche of him. You know, as Miguda put it the other day, that the majority of supporters who are supporting Babu, majority of them are organic ODM supporters. He enjoys the favors because he's in ODM. Yeah? Yeah. He enjoys the favors because he's in ODM. But immediately you leave ODM, you will not go with that. We saw that. Remember when Orengo disagreed with Baba? What happened? Remember when Tuju disagreed with Baba? What happened? Remember who again disagreed with Baba? People like Shemo Chuodo, yeah, very bright, brilliant minds in Luoland. You know, these are people who are very brilliant. When you're talking about Shemo Chuodo, Honorable Shemo Chuodo, you know, very, very brilliant, you know, and these are the people who are not on board. And, you know, he's not even in Kenya. I think he's in Rwanda nowadays, right? I think so. I think he might be in Rwanda, Honorable Shemo Chuodo. But that's one of the greatest minds that Kenya have that is serving in another country. See how Kenya we are. Look at us. When it comes to ICT, think of Shemo Chuodo. Yeah, he's from Rangwe, right?
Yeah. Kenya is a great Kenya's produced very learned leader, people with leadership skill, and that was even confirmed for the first time. The US had a president with a Kenyan background. I mean Kenyan bloodline. The president we still loved up to date, the president who is still known in the whole world, Barack Obama. He has his roots here in Kenya. So that confirms to you that Kenya has a potential to run the whole world. The only problem is the politicians of the Republic of Kenya, they try to which word should I use? They're trying whenever these people tend to to put their heads outside, they're being beaten and told to go back. You know nothing. Whenever you try to raise your head up, you're being beaten. So this is the challenge you have, and that is why, if you see this young man who's been very vocal with the Gen Zs, he's a leader. That's a true leader. But such kind of people will never see the light unless they force themselves. And there's a possibility that even the government would employ other people to make them disappear. So this is the challenge we have as a country.
No. I not even the government, because just not even the government. You know, sometimes if even the enemy within him, the surrounding, the people that surround him might say like, he's getting airplay. Is like everybody wants to speak to him, you know, and he's getting all this and he's getting known. And what will happen, you know? So that a place where we don't want to appreciate one another, or we do not want ourselves to grow. If you see somebody thriving, it's like he should not be there. And remember, everybody is blessed in different way. You know, nobody can be like what is his name?
Makoure.
Makoure. Casmuel. Nobody can be like Casmuel. That is him. There's nobody like him. Nobody can match him. You know, he's very good, eloquent, speaks very well. He's also a sprinter. You saw that, you know. Angeenda Olympic atulete gold pia, you know. Lakini unajua polisi alijaribu kumshika, atasema wewe si tu unajua kuongea bana, hata hii mambo ya kukimbia pia iko kwa damu. Akamuonesha vumbi, alitoroka. He did a good thing, you know, and I would thank him for that. That running saved him big time, I tell you. Because remember, this is somebody who is very eloquent and very speaking, is always speaking and speaking the sense. Kuna mtu mahali anamfinya, nikasema huyu kijana anajaribu kutuonyesha akiwa huko, wacha nimshike, ndamnyorosha. Alifanya vizuri kukimbia, hata kama saa zingine watu wanamuenjoy, lakini mimi naona kwamba kwa maoni yangu binafsi alifanya vizuri kutoroka. Ilimsaidia sana, unaona. Hiyo unaona, unaweza finywa Makobura, kuna jambo.
That's why the countries around the East African countries. If you go to Tanzania, if you go to Uganda, if you listen to them describing how the people of Kenya operate, they'll tell you that just staying in Kenya, it's like it's same as being in a university. Like, you staying in Kenya is a lifestyle, a process of learning. So they take for some years. If they manage to go back to their countries, they are far much ahead of the people. I don't know how Kenya is. They say just staying in Kenya is like going to the universities. It's like learning a lot.
It is true. Just for information, yesterday or the day before yesterday, there were young people from Tanzania, especially I think they're allied to Chadema. If I'm not, I might confirm, but I know they're allied to Chadema. They were also planning to have like a peaceful protest. Hiyo onyo polisi walitoa haya. Hiyo onyo walitolewa na polisi. So kusema we are very proud Kenyans. Actually, Kenya is a good place to be, despite the fact that we have bigger challenges. But there are some of the things that we Kenyans do enjoy that other countries do not enjoy. That is something that we have to.
We are not fearful.
Yeah, Kenyans.
We are not fearful. We don't quote anything. We simply speak it out whenever we feel, whenever we see it. We are not shy. Uh, I pray that we get the courage to get these political leaders out of this scenario, so that we start having a fresh blood of people, a people like Samuel Makawuri, people who will come out and speak. If you want to deny them their rights, they will sprint and disappear, even in few suits. So
Look,
we are
Caswell is a
getting
great
there.
sprinter,
We shall
even in
get
a
there.
suit. Na just kumbuka is on a suit. Sasa angekuwa kwa zile manguo,
Yeah.
huyo angeruka sana. And Banka,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, and thank you so much. Makobura, do you have? By the way, Makobura, tomorrow, it depending with how the day will be, we want to have a conversation about Kalonzo, Honorable Kalonzo, and how will Kalonzo navigate? Yeah, how will Kalonzo navigate the political waters, bearing in mind that they are having their point of departure with Raila Odinga? Yeah, and you know, Raila Odinga has the Right Honorable has
It is challenging for.
yeah, it is.
It's not going to be easy for him,
Yeah,
but it's not going to be easy for Kalonzo to maneuver.
yeah.
But again, the political realignment has already started. I
We are seeing
am
that.
very much aware that he has started courting the likes of Karua, the likes of the deputy president,
Mhm.
and is trying to convince the mountain that he can be a good president. But maybe one thing that I would remind him is
Mhm.
him being close to Raila. Let him not wish away Raila, because among Raila's
Mhm.
followers, there are those who believes in him, especially on what he did and the kind of support that he's been giving Raila. So my advice to him is he should try term his close allies, the likes of Senator Wambua, whom,
Mhm.
whenever they get time, they try to insult Raila. I think it is not good for them politically. They'll need help of Raila, and they shouldn't insult him as much as they have differences. Let them talk about their differences. Yes, it's okay, but them, I mean, using some words which are not
Mhm.
right would make the people who had believed in him change their mind. Like personally, I believe Kalonzo can make a good president, and
Mhm.
if everything goes as it is,
Yeah.
if maybe the talk that, let me not speak about that. That is very
Okay.
political.
Okay. That is your political opinion.
Political.
Keep it. But tomorrow it will depend on how the day will be. We will monitor the day and we will see what will happen. But among or in our discussion for tomorrow, we just want to have a look at Kalonzo, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, how he can find himself in this political waters. Because remember, Raila Odinga has a strong fan base, fanatical fan base. Yeah. Even if you have a point of departure with Raila Odinga, how are you going to handle him? Are you going to keep on attacking him? But immediately you attack him, you know very obvious how it will be for you. So because remember, there were days that he
Maybe,
took Kalonzo.
maybe Yeah, I wanted to say something about Raila having fanatical supporters. You
Yeah.
know, among the Gen Zs, as much as there was this narrative that they are partyless, that they are tribeless, I
Mhm.
want to tell you that majority of the Gen Zs who came out, most of them are followers of Raila Amolo Odinga.
True.
Most of them are people who had attempted to do the demonstrations, but they did not get a good support from other young people.
Yeah.
So the majority of them who went out of demonstration were Raila's followers. But it was nice that even those who were not his followers saw the sense of going to the street. And that is why we had a massive number of people going to the street. And that tells you that the moment Raila nominated, I mean, gave a chance to his close allies to join the government, you didn't see demonstrations in Luo Nyanza, in parts that ODM really has a big fan. So that clearly tells you that someone should not wish Raila Amolo Odinga out of this political equation because he has true followers. And that
Okay.
also confirms the fact that majority of young people, especially those places who have been known for demonstration, the likes of Jacaranda people, they did get out.
Yeah.
The likes of Kisumu, Homa Bay, they didn't get out. That tells you that
Yeah.
Raila supporters were the majority of people who went out to the street. And once
Okay.
Raila said, no, let's give them time, they listened to him.
And that's why tomorrow we will be discussing about Kalonzo Musyoka and how is he going to navigate the waters of politics if they have that departure from Raila Odinga, and how are they going to handle it? I agree with you, my friend. You might be surprised when Kalonzo joins Ruto in the near future. Politics in Kenya is a twist and turns, and that is true. The reason why that is true, remember, Kalonzo, one of the things that is fighting the public is about trust. That trust, that there's this small doubt that people usually have on him, especially, you remember people calling watermelon, no. So how sure are people, how can he convince the people that the stand that have taken now, by not joining the government, it will stick? That is another thing. So tomorrow we will be here looking at Kalonzo, and we are looking at how they've remember 207, when Raila needed him most, he left and joined the government, and what happened? Then that's how it died. So they have so many things that has really, really played part into Kenyan politics. And remember, he has always supported Raila fully every time he has been named as running mate, including the prime cabinet secretary that he was promised, that did not materialize. So tomorrow we will be talking about that. So help us. As long as Wakenya has this system, they will be ignored by their representative. And thank you so much. That's true. So it's about the system that is in place. And we said here, the problem we have, not even our constitution is not a problem. The problem we have is the politician. Matomeka nets, lakini brother Benson, with Raila move there, have been a silent mass exit from ODM. It is true, and they are okay. The fan base of Raila Odinga is torn apart. There are those who feel like he has betrayed them, and there are those who feel that he has done a good job. But I want you to look at the strong base of Raila when the protest was taking place. Some of them did not go out for protest. One of the reasons why they did not go out for protest was fear, because they feared, if I go out, it means I'm challenging the status quo. And what will happen? They will come for me. But there's that silent exit. I agree with you 100%, my brother. This will be hard for, it is not hard matter to redeem itself, because this is something that has always been happening, but he has been doing it in a very intelligent way that people did not understand. But now people have understood, or people have now seen it the way it happens. But there are those who still believe that he did his best. So that is there. So it is a kind of mixed of reaction. If you can remember, people can go back and check some of the clips that I had. One of the things, or one of the issues that young people were raising, especially when it comes to ODM, was the system. The system could not allow them even to get that leadership. There was one of the guys that I interviewed, and he told me one thing. When they went for nomination, he won. Until today, they've never known who won that election, but somebody was given the certificate. So those are the kind of the things that are playing in politics. So it is possible. So he can, I don't know whether he will redeem himself. The best thing that will happen to him, and he wins the chairmanship seat in Africa, because if he doesn't, I don't know how internet will be. Kenyans are very good with the internet and good with creating memes and all that. So you will be prepared for full entertainment. So there's those group of people who have independent mind, who have decided now it is not enough for us. We are leaving. But there are those diehards who have also decided that, okay, what he has done is the right thing that any man could do. The other day, we were talking here about one of the good surrogate of ODM. If you know him, is called Mr. Makamu. Makamu is a comedian, is a political comedian. He knows how to sway, or he knows how to convince the masses. He's a very good dancer of Oangla. And he knows how he portrays, or how he plays his tricks. If you go back a few weeks ago, he was convincing people that from today, all the post-election victims in our area are going to be paid by Mbadi because the Treasury is here. That is one, and majority of people, it's true. They believe, they were convinced. Another thing you say, since Opio Wandae is in charge of the energy, we will be buying fuel, we call it kwa Kiswahili mafuta ya kiroboi, itakuwa ni kama shilingi 3, na ulikuwa unapata watu wanafurahia. So it's zote mbili. Kuna wale wanakubali ni ukweli, na kuna wale pia wanajua hii tu ni siasa tu ya kawaida. So Maka Nets, thank you so much, and you need to come. I need to host you one day so that you can give us your view and about how the politics is going to be. But so many developments are taking place. So tomorrow we will be focusing on Mr. Kalonzo and see the relationship, him and Raila. How will it be? Okay, thank you so much. And if somebody has any other question, it will be okay for me to answer. So tomorrow we are just welcoming you all, and to be part of the show, me and Makobora, so that we can see where it stands, or where it will be for Kalonzo. So that's it. So if somebody have anything new, just let us share with us, and we will really appreciate you. And for our viewers, yes. So that is what is happening. And in that case, for those who have been here with us, we really thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll be here, me and my friend and other 2 panelists, as we will be discussing about Kalonzo and see what will happen if he decided to go by himself, and who will he be having for the next election, because I know realignment is taking place. And will he join the government at some point? If he feels thank you so much. We'll be waiting for that, and we really appreciate you to come on the show and share with us and know what is happening in the eastern side of our good country. Thank you so much, my brother, and I really appreciate you so much. Banker, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much for being here with us, and everyone who is watching. If you're new here, please kindly invite a friend, a family member, so that you can join this discussion, because here we are just conversing about issues that are affecting our country and issues that can make us grow. Yes, so many. Another thing, we are also planning to bring in one of advocates who will talk to us about the land issue and when should you buy the land, and what are the procedures that you should use while buying the land that is there. Again, we also have some expert, one of the expert also, who will be talking to us, especially if you want to invest home. How do you send the money? There are those who have sent back home the money. If you're in diaspora, you've sent back money home, but immediately you go home and check that building, unapata kwamba picha ambayo ulikuwa unapigiwa haikukuwa hiyo. Pesa yako mtu alikuwa ameenda nayo kupiga sherehe mahali. So pia huyo mtu pia tuko naye, atakuja ili atuelezee mengi kuhusu hiyo maneno. So sasa ni ile tu, nyinyi tu ndio tunawasubiri mkuje tusikilizane pamoja. Pia tuko na mhubiri mzuri tu, atakuja hapa pia tuelezee maono yake na maoni kulingana na siasa na kulingana na kanisa wa leo. Unasema kwamba so kuna vitu mingi ambazo sisi tunataka kufanya na tuwaletee, so mkuwe tayari kukuja ili tusikilizane ama tuongee, we grow together, and that's what we have. So in that case, thank you so much for your time. Marco Bura, always thank you for coming to the show. And I know you always host the 10, but today I decided to do that. I'm sorry for that. Maybe tomorrow you can host when you're talking about Kalonzo Musyoka. I'll be glad to join you as a panelist. And thank you so much for your time. And may God bless you. And may God bless you all. May God bless our beautiful country, Kenya. And we will be happy to see you tomorrow. Mimi hey, Makubura, mimi nilitumiwa picha ya lori ikitoka kwa kwani ikitoka Kware lakini nyumba man.
Actually, on this issue of especially our brothers and sisters who are in diaspora, it is true, most of them have gone through a very stressful scenarios where, I think we brothers and sisters who are in Kenya, sometimes we tend to believe that those of us who are in diaspora, we have this mentality that they have money, but we are not very much aware of the kind of tight schedules and working schedules that they have over there. We are not very much aware of how busy they are trying to make money there, and how tough life is outside there. So we've seen this. We've seen most of them sending money back home to their brothers, sisters, or relatives to help them either build their own mansions, and then someone tends to do something funny. They are being sent fake photos. Then maybe after them coming home after 5 years, they find nothing, and then it becomes stressful. Some of them decides they just simply leave and go back to the diaspora, and then they say they'll never come back. So they go through a lot. That is true. So one of these days, we've got so many advocates who are our friends, especially to our friends in diaspora. We will bring an advocate of the High Court of Kenya who would explain to us the processes of acquiring land in Kenya and the process of building. Even if you're not there, someone can inspect and ensure that whatever you are doing back home is in line with the law. is done to your satisfaction.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you, my
so
brother.
we'll have that discussion soon.
I've been a victim of 4 times. Sorry about that. It happens, and we learn from our mistakes. And yeah, okay, my good viewers, my good subscribers, thank you so much, and I wish you all from wherever you are. If it is nighttime where you are, have a good night. If it is morning time, have a good morning. If
It
it is
is it is
afternoon,
mid it is it is
have a good
midnight in
afternoon.
Kenya.
Oh, it's midnight. Oh, okay. But you never know where somebody is watching us from. So everybody, where you are,
No,
and
I'm just reporting the live scenario in Kenya.
oh, okay.
The
So
night,
that's okay.
the
So
time in Kenya. It is
thank you so
midnight.
much, and may God bless you. And we see you tomorrow. And have a good night. Have a good day. Enjoy your evening. Thank you so much.